Sontag mentions that even for the photographer themselves, taking the photo is a surreal experience.
100%.
Not just looking at it as a viewer, but being the practitioner who captures the image. What is, and as I didn't understand that part, because I don't understand how it's surreal for a photographer.
Yeah.
But how is it surreal for the photographer?
It's, first of all, I want to start with even using an average camera, like the tool itself, like the camera. Obviously with exceptions, because not every single camera has a viewfinder, you know? But I think I want to start there. Even the experience of shooting and making photographs through a viewfinder is an experience in itself, because it's like you are quite literally like the tool itself limits your perspective and limits your eyesight to a window.
Yeah.
Right? Because now you have like it blocks out everything else. Like when you look through a camera, you just have this square, and everything. Now you experience life through this square, and so that alone makes you hyper focus on just everything going on inside of this given space. Instead of, even though we don't think about it, because again, it's just like the human brain, that's how it works. But even though we focus on one thing and we have so much peripherals and things and information given to us, and I don't want to say information overload, but we're so used to getting so much. The way our eyes work and like our eyesight is so wide. Even though we focus on one thing, like right now I'm looking at the camera and everything else gets blurred out because of vision or whatever and focus, and there's so much, I can still see you to my left even though I'm looking here. The experience of shooting through a camera and having just your given window and having to really hyper focus on one thing, that alone is a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
So then on top of that, on top of now choosing the thing to focus on and choosing what to look at and choosing what to put inside of my frame, because that's really like, those are all my choices as an artist, as a photographer. Like those are your choices. You're choosing to include or not include something. And I think that's, honestly, what you choose to not include in your frame is more important than what you choose to include in your frame.
Absolutely.
So now going back and circling back to your question, like why is it such an ethereal and just surreal experience? Is one, the illusion of choice, and I guess like the power of choosing what's in my frame and choosing what's not in my frame, hyper focusing on this one thing, even though we're so used to all this information, it's like you can finally focus on one thing, and then from there, not only choosing what is in and what is not in your frame, what takes it even further is that click of the shutter. Now I'm choosing, and
Sontag was talking about this.
I'm choosing, and mind you, I haven't even read that yet.
Yeah,
I'm
bro,
so excited
you
to.
You quoting her, you don't even know it yet.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's not the first time I've done that. When I was talking to my professor about why I hate landscape photography, but we'll get into that. Yeah, I haven't read that yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. But I mean, I'll continue. Maybe we're on the same spectrum, on the same thing. You know what I mean? But like, yeah. So first, like the first choice again is choosing what's in and out of my frame, because again, that's very important. Like choosing what not to include and what information and context and not provide. That's extremely important.
Yeah.
But then also now, like the power that I have of when to create the moment, which is clicking that shutter. That is surreal in itself, because again, now I have the power quite literally to freeze time forever. Just in this given information, just in this given frame, in this given box. Like it's surreal, man. Like it really is surreal, especially I think when doing something like street photography. I don't think it's, not to take away from any other kind of photography and experiences, you know, but it's not the same when I'm photographing like a product, or when I'm photographing, let's say, like a flat lay for a company, or like, it's not like I'm waiting for the shirt to move the right way. You know what I mean? Not to take away from it, for sure. Or even like when I'm doing portrait photography, it's different. But I think something about photographing an environment or an object or a subject that you can't control, especially in street photography. So it's like, you can't control anything but what is in and isn't in your frame, and then when you take the photo, everything else is quite literally out of your control. And that's the surreal part, that it's like you are this small thing with no power that's somehow given all the power in that moment.
I wear my heart on the sleeve, but who does it. I'm in a generation where you just say fuck it. Love don't exist unless you out of school, pockets full of money, and you got no issues with your daddy or your mommy. But I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I thought about texting X a couple of times, thinking it would help. Just to remember, it was dopamine I felt at 5:53 or 6:23 in the morning. But we did most of our loving in your bedroom. To be honest, to the public.